really excited to be here with you today to kind of walk through it and make sure you know where to find everything within the system and get used to this new view because I know for me change is really hard and it's hard to learn how to navigate something that just looks a bit new and it's uncomfortable, but long term I'm confident this will be a really good switch for everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As Nick mentioned, please use that Q&A at the bottom, ask us questions, and what we can't answer on this webinar today, we will follow up with you afterwards in an email, make sure you know how to find everything. So we really want to make sure this is a good experience for everyone, and we'll partner together to make that happen. So most of you probably have seen this new project page look. It is been updated to set the page into different modules. And the reason we did that is that the page will load a lot quicker if it's not having to pull all of the data to edit one specific item. And so you should have a better experience when it comes to both navigating and making adjustments. So I'll go over just the orientation of the page, how to do things, and then what features are kind of newer with this view. One thing I will call out is as we have made these updates, our long-term goal is to add new features on top of this page. And so there are some features that are on this page that weren't on the previous page and will not be added to the previous page, and we'll continue to see that going forward. So we're really hopeful that people will take some time to learn how to navigate the new page because it's going to be here for the long term. And we want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of the new features as they roll out by using this page. So one of the changes with this new update is what we're calling a global navigation. And it is going to allow you on the top rail to have some additional settings that weren't there previously or some additional sections that weren't there previously. So you'll see a search functionality with a magnifying glass. This was previously a search bar. Same functionality will work as before if you click on that magnifying glass. You can see your notification. The Help Center will take you to that resource. Like I mentioned, we pushed content prior to this release with training videos and some updated information on where to find things. So that Help Center will house that. Settings through this gear icon, which was previously on that left rail. So that will take you to your settings if you need to make any adjustments. And then you'll also be able to sign out or update any of those notification preferences by clicking your name. On the left, you can expand the different tabs or collapse them. A lot of people will expand them at first, and then once they're used to the different icons, keep it collapsed to make sure the page is optimized for you to see the information on the section you're in. Awesome. So now that we've kind of gone over just the overall navigation of the new global navigation sections, we'll talk through the project page itself. Creating a new project is going to be the exact same as it was before. So we'll just jump in to a project that's already been created to walk through each of the sections and how they're going to work. When you first go into a project, it's going to start by giving you the job details. There's going to be a pinned project details. This will show no matter where you are on the page, it will stay at the very top. This is the most important information that we think you'll need to know, regardless of what you're doing in the system. It will include the project type and name. The job itself will be listed right below. It will include the date or dates of that project. It will include information about the origin and destination, which our team is working on right now. And then it will also include the weight, which will either be the estimated weight you've entered, or if you've done a survey, it will pull that weight as well. Any project description that's been added, and your client's information. If we need to edit the client's information, there's a few ways to do it, but one of which is by clicking on the down caret, editing client, and it will quickly pop out that client's information for you to make an adjustment. everything will load quicker and save quicker as well. We also could do the same for sending an email or a text message to the customer. If you need to make any adjustments to the project name, that project description, or the project or job type, you can also do that from this header. So editing the name and description will allow you to adjust that. And then if you need to edit the project or job types, you'll be able to do so now. One thing to note here is if you have different billing set up for local versus long distance moves or whatever your different move types are, you'll be able to adjust the project type and you'll get to indicate if you want to reset those bills and billing values or not. If you have different billing, you likely want to reset them so that everything will have the updated project types billing information that's been set up in your settings. And if you select that, it will erase everything that you put in with that local move if you had made any adjustments, and it will start blank. That way the billing will be able to pull the correct formulas and have those billing values that were associated with them added to the billing value section. So if I were to save these changes and have those items select, it would do that and reset them for us. And I go ahead and cancel that for now. Awesome. So I have a pack job already added to this project. I'm also going to be moving this customer the next day. So I'm going to add an additional job. There are a few options to doing so on the new view. You can duplicate the current job. This will copy over all of the information I've already added to this job when it comes to the number of movers, the notes, etc. I can add a new job. That will add a blank job to the system, or I can edit the job, which will then allow me to decide if I want to duplicate or add a blank job or just make any adjustments. So once we're in here, if I duplicate the current job, you'll notice all of the information for the job, the stops, dispatch, and the notes are going to copy over. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm now going to adjust the job to a move, and it's going to be tomorrow. I can save those changes. I could also add a blank job, and then I could go in and put what I need there if the information is not going to need to port over. For now, I'm going to delete the blank job and just save the duplicated job. One thing to note, if you have a really large project and you're trying to add a lot of jobs, I always recommend adding 4 or 5 at a time, saving it. That way the system is not trying to save a ton of data at once, as it could cause the system to time out. If you need to manually complete a job, you will be able to mark it as completed or cancel the job. Once this job has been booked, I will be able to complete it. But right now we haven't gotten that confirmation signed or skipped. Awesome. So I'm going to go up to the top and start navigating through the different sections beyond just those project and job details. You'll notice the project details and those dates will stay across all of those jobs. Bill to client and client information is going to be that information that we could have edited either here or now you can edit it here. The same thing, it's just going to give you 2 areas to see that. You'll be able to also identify any of those additional notes that were maybe indicated on the client from the section. Saved locations is actually going to be a newer functionality that was added onto this page. This will allow you to have project level locations that could be edited to update any job within that project. If I go in and make an edit to this location and save it, it's going to update it on both of those jobs that were using the project location. You'll also notice if I were to go into the locations, it's going to show the project locations that have been saved in the dropdown. So you could choose as you're adding a new job to either select one of those project locations or type in a custom new location, which is not a problem at all. Awesome. Internal information is going to be who on your internal team and what were the referral sources are associated to this project. You can easily edit those as well with this pop-up modal. For sales, we'll also have a section for surveys, and I saw there was a question in the chat about surveys, so thanks for being interested in using this functionality. We can set some defaults up in settings to indicate what is the default survey type going to be. So if you are most frequently doing in-home surveys, you can set that up as a default and it will pre-add that survey type into the system, or you can use whatever survey type you might want. You can survey the items. This is the same functionality as it was previously when it comes to surveying the items. You can add that room, any specific items you might want, and save. You could do this from your office on a desktop or from a tablet in the field. Both will work. As soon as that weight and survey has been added, you'll notice the weight has updated on the project details. So if we had an estimated weight in, we would have seen that before as well. You'll have that overview of the survey, what was completed. If you are offering valuation coverage, you can also see that valuation coverage section and make any adjustments. There is a new section called proposals. Previously, this was send quote confirmation or skip confirmation on the right side. It's now going to live under proposals. Now that we have it here, you'll be able to track what's been completed, how many times has this been sent, and what are the different statuses of those documents you've sent to your customers. One thing to note is you can only have one active quote or confirmation at a given time. So if we send a new confirmation letter to this customer, it is going to change the status from active on the old, and we'll see the new one is now active. You would be able to see if it has been completed, as well as the documents that have been sent to your customer via that flow. So you could quote, confirmation, or skip. I'm going to go ahead and send that confirmation again. Take note that it's no longer going to show as active once that's been sent. And this will be whatever your documents are set up to be on that flow. So under proposals, this inactive document was never completed. Now we have that active one added. Billing, we'll be able to review those bills, make any adjustments in the billing section. You can add a blank bill or a bill template. You can also edit those billing values. This is based off of the billing variables you've set up in your settings. So yours will look different than this, definitely. But this is where you could put in those weight information, etc. if you have a estimated weight that you want to surface and you're not doing a survey in the system. You can edit billing items, billing rules, or values. You also are able to record or charge a credit card for a payment if you're using Supermove payments. This will allow you to indicate what payments have been made at any time throughout the move. You also could send that deposit form to capture during the confirmation flow, and all recorded payments will be logged. Job details we talked about a little bit before, but it will be with those similar to those project information, that it is going to just give you those specific details for each job. And when I click on each day, it will show the adjusted information based off of the day selected. Stops are going to be the different stops used for the job. So for these two, they are the same, but if we had different stops for each location, you would notice when I'm in the job stops that would change. You also could make an adjustment to the stops and edit what is entered there. Dispatch will be able to read their notes as well as assign crews or send their crew text directly from the job themselves. If you're operating with multiple locations, you would be able to add that labor source. Majority of our customers are on a primary account, and so you wouldn't have to add that labor source, but because our test account does have multiple branches set up, that's why we have that step You can assign trucks as well as your crews. You would also be able to send that crew text to your crews from dispatch directly. This will give them the information for this assigned job. Equipment and materials is something that may or may not have been on for your account previously, but with the new project page, we have enabled it for everyone to give you the opportunity to try it out if you'd like. This will allow you to indicate what are the equipment or materials that are being requested for the job. And then on the tablets, the crew has the ability to indicate if these were all used or left on site, or if maybe we requested more than was necessary. This does require adding a document with these blocks to have the crew see it on the tablet, but that's not a problem at all. You can create a custom equipment, or you can set up a library that has those equipment in your setting. So let's say we've requested 10, and if you have a price associated, you can add that as well. If you want to have this price pull into a bill, you can add the information and then generate the bill. This will allow you to have a bill for those equipment and materials that is calculating what you're estimating for that proposal. And then on the day of the job, either the crew or someone in the office after the fact will be able to go in and indicate those quantities to decide if we are going to charge for them based off of what was actually used instead of what was just requested. Timesheets will show the work time based off of the crew putting in information on the tablets, as well as a predicted time based off of tracking if the crew was taking tablets out on site. This just gives you the option to kind of compare what the crew is saying was being done versus what the tablets are predicting and make any adjustments that might be needed. You can also view GPS tracking if the tablets are out on site. It'll give you the option to see the location of the tablet and where the tablet was at different times throughout the job. Once the job has been completed, either on the tablet or manually, you'll be able to see a ability to also edit the timesheet here. So I'll go up and to proposals. I'm going to skip the proposal or skip the confirmation on this one. So this job is confirmed. And then I should be able to complete the job. And then let me go back to proposals on the right day. And then you should be able to mark it as completed. Once it's been completed under the timesheet, you'll then see the ability to edit that report. You won't be able to edit the timesheet if a job has not yet been completed because the system is assuming you have more to do. Awesome. So for accounting, we can see a summary of the invoice itself. We also can charge a card, record a payment, or send the invoice if needed. Once every job has been completed, we would likely send that invoice. You will be able to track profitability with our cost and compensation module if you've set this up. This allows you to indicate what were the costs spent on different materials, items you are selling, as well as the people and labor in your office. And then you can track what is the total cost versus the profit. And then last but not least, there is a claims module that may or may not have been on previously. This will allow you to log a different claim based off of claim type you must set up in settings. If you haven't set up any claim types, this list will be blank. You can track the status as well as the dollar amount, and you can add any notes or upload any attachments or photos. You can then track those in the claims on the left side. On the right, we'll have a few fast actions. These can remain expanded and open at all times if once you've clicked into them. So you could navigate to any page and they will remain available. You also could minimize them. You'll have tasks where you can add a task or a task template. This could be assigned to you or someone else on your team. You'll have comments where you can log any information or comments internally with a timestamp and a list of who has added it in for the project. You will be able to see any text messages that have been sent to your customer. You can also send a text template or send a text on its own. Any automated text sent from workflows will also show up here. Emails, you can see all of the emails that have been sent to your customer, or create a new email to be sent. Documents will show all of the documents that have either been added by the quote or confirmation, or sorry, by the confirmation flow or the quote flow, or what has been completed in that flow or on the tablet. You also can generate new documents or all of the documents set for the crew on this job type. One thing to note was that previously there was the ability to print job or print invoice. Those now live under this document section. If you go to print invoice or print job, you can review what that document looks like, or you can generate those documents to be added, and then you could go in and print those options as well as any of the other documents that you might need. Attachments will allow you to add attachments. You can add multiple attachments at one time. You can indicate if they should be seen for the crew and add any notes. And then last but not least, there is an event log that will allow you to see everything that has been done on the project, who has been doing those actions, and you can expand these to get more details as well. Anything that was done by an automation or Supermove is going to have the Supermove logo. Otherwise, it will have your initial. You can search or filter by dates, jobs, a specific person, etc. The last thing I want to go over before we run out of time today is a new functionality called Project and Job Tags. Project and Job Tags allows you to add specific indicators to your projects or jobs on a custom basis. We can add a project tag to indicate it's a VIP customer. Maybe this customer will be moving into storage at a later time, or they've flagged issues. This is just internal for your team to see and have some indications that will allow you to later add automations based off of tags or filters. So we have job tags, project tags, as well as job tags. You'll be able to also use a job tag, ignore for capacity. If you maybe have a job added for box delivery or something that doesn't require your crews to be unavailable, you could add that in, and then on the capacity calendar, you would be able to see that. When you're in many of the different list views, you'll be able to see whatever tags you've added, as well as filter by those tags if we only wanted to see customers who had issues or customers who were going into storage. So it will give you the ability to have some more customization there. I know we've gone over a lot and we're running out of time, but I hope this was really helpful. If you have other questions, please reach out. We want to make sure this is a good experience for everyone using the new page, and we're confident that it will be. It will just take some time to get used to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison. And for anyone that missed it in the chat, we will be posting this recording later today. It'll be available in our help center under Supermove content. So please be on the lookout later today. Again, that'll be in our help center under Supermove content. Please feel free to share the recording internally with your teams. We're hoping this, along with the other articles and content we're producing, helps everyone ramp up and answer those very important questions. That concludes today's session. Again, we'll be posting that later today, and we thank everyone for joining. Have a great Friday.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.